Okay, my name's Suhi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in my 30s, we're gonna attempt to put this project together. Oh, Kiwi! Hello and welcome in. So, I'm gonna just cut to the point. This is a beer, and I'm gonna need it because, my stationary belt sander that my puppy is attacking me. I wish I had a puppy attacking me because I have power tools that are misbehaving. Oh gosh. So the stationary belt sander has it does not want to hold the belt the way it should, and where I am at in this project is so these are the underside, these two are the undersides for the table support, and then there's actually 4 pieces here. These 4 pieces are going to be the legs for the table. All 6 of these pieces have corners that are at 90-degree angles. I need to take those 90-degree angles and turn them into something that is round. And the stationary belt sander was going to be my primary tool of choice for that task, and yeah, I have foobarred myself out of that tool. So, with being definitely following, oh no. So, my game plan is orbital sander kun. So, if one sander will not work, then surely just adding another sander to the problem will work. Possibly. The stationary belt sander is a lot more powerful and a lot more go-gettery. Actually, you know what? Actually, I fiddly deed. This is the stationary belt sander. So, need to bring you guys up a bit. So, this is my issue, is the belt does not stay on the sander. And that is a big problem. Okay. What is that thing? Ooh. Wait a second. Wait a second. I might be learning about this tool in real time. Actually, correction. I am learning about this tool in real time. Which coincidentally, what does that do? Oh, that's what that does. Okay. Then that's the locking mechanism for the belt. Okay. So the belt spins somewhat well. Okay. Holy smokes, did I just fix this? Did I just fiddle and fix my problem? Okay. So, here's my switch. It's either going to make angry noises at me or work. Okay. Holy smokes. Okay, now. Oh boy. So, this tool is an incredible dust generator. Also, I really don't like how the belt is... because the belt's moving too far towards the camera, and I don't like that. So, I'm gonna tighten this up. Okay, let's see what we get with this. Okay, well, that's what makes it happy. Oh. Oh gosh, this thing is going to be a monster to use. This thing is going to truly be a monster to use. Okay. But hey, you know what? You know what they say about monster things to use? Better get it done sooner rather than later. Because holy smokes roonies, this is a dust generating machine. So. Oh. Oh no. It made angry noises. Why'd you make angry noises? I know why you made angry. Oh yeah. Actually, let's do that, followed up by this. Okay, will you work now? Okay. So, essentially how this tool works is there's a lever on this side, and that takes these rollers out of the compression, and that lets you move your belt around. But there's also a thumb knob up here, and that lets me fiddle with things. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Got touch. And that's kind of sort of the one of the fun issues with this guy is very temperamental of a beast. But we are going to play with them and see if we can't get this figured out. Because this is very quick, very aggressive. We'll get the job done very quickly. So for a radii on our piece, we need a line. Because I need a line. That was fun. Now I'm all scratched up. At least you're not getting like destroyed by this thing. But it's also fun to play with dogs. Like, dogs are just fun. Dogs are fun critters. So, for my radii, I wanted something that was round, but roughly the width of my board. So, this is my airlock for one of my fermenters. So, I will put an edge. He sneak attacks again. Well, of course he does. He's Puppy. Puppy attacks. That's what puppy do. That's how all the puppies do. There we go. So, using that as a template, that gets me a line. Those lines are very important lines. Yeah, exactly. Puppies attack. Like, also just puppies just play. That's the big thing with puppies, is they're like, hey, I'm young, I'm stupid, I want to play. Which is also why I don't have dog. Because dog requires attention then. I only have so much attention to give. And most of my attention has to be given towards what could be said as adult responsibilities. That is what consumes most of my attention. Damn adult responsibilities. He's a good boy. Aww. Okay, so I've got radii marked on 2. Oh, you pay taxes. Well, of course I pay taxes. I'm an adult. Gotta do the adult thing. So, I think this is reasonably tuned correctly. Also, this thing generates yeah. Let me get this mask on, somewhat. This also generates an absolute unbelievable amount of sawdust. Like, it's worse than the table saw. So, I'm gonna get my mask on. We're gonna fire this up, and hopefully, one of those unfortunate individuals. Yes, I am one of the unfortunate individuals who has to support society. But you know what? I'm okay with it. Because society does give me good things. Like beer. Beer's a good thing. Okay. Mask goes on. I'm gonna fire this up. And we're gonna have fun. Woo! Oh, okay. Guess look at Mike's picking me up through the... Oh. Great, that's funny. iPhone's lost most of the tracking. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. Let's see what this does. Okay, dangerous thing, go. Dangerous thing is not happy. So... So... Okay, try again. Yay! really glad I'm wearing a dust mask for this, but definitely have some work to do in terms of technique to make it even, but it does get me around corners and at a reasonably good speed. Oh boy, but I am gonna totally wanna wrap this up sooner rather than later, so that's 2 pieces down. We've got 4 more pieces to go. Oh wait, oh snap, I gotta get these marked out. Ah! Because that's, like, this is the annoying part, because we gotta get through this, and then I can actually get to assembly. Woo! What a tool. It may be my grandfather's, but you know what? Boy, oh boy, this guy is a dusty, really dusty tool to use. But you know what? It does feel kind of nice to use some of Grandpa's old tools, even if they're like a little rough, if you will, to use. The other side, flip it over. Woo! And for these, for the legs, I'm actually marking both sides, so that when I flip the board up and down, I can actually like see like different sides. Whew. But this will get me pretty dang close though. It's that one marked out. Wait. Got. This one has actually got a lot of sapwood, so it'd be interesting to see if it cuts quicker and easier. Two, one, and two. Let's see, that's that side of the world. That side. Now this is interesting because I'll show you here in a bit. This piece, whoa! This piece is missing just a touch of its corner. Because that's where the bark was. That one will just might be a touch more interesting than normal. But we'll see. Here. I don't like that line. I can make a better line. That's a better line. Okay. One more side. And there we go. So that's all the sides marked out for the legs. And yeah, things are gonna get interesting at this point. So I'm gonna have a sip of beer. Probably two. Just to keep me a little bit hydrated. If I knew this part was going to be this dusty, I probably would have done it off stream, but... Well, the thing is when you're trying to learn skills in real time, so... Back to more... belt sander noises. Okay, thankfully that's enough of that. Okay. So, I don't have perfectly rounded edges on everything, but holy smokes, that is more than a plenty enough amount of sawdust. Oh, okay. So, I'm gonna go turn on my air filtration. Because wowee! That was not a little bit of sawdust, that was a whole lot of sawdust. But oh well. I'm actually genuinely surprised. It took more effort to actually get everything set up than it did to actually like do the actual work, so. Whew! Okay, ugh. Ah! Woo! Holy smokes! That was some sawdust. But you know what? That's my first time using the stationary belt sander. And overall, not too bad of an experience. Took some work getting the set up, but that's just power tools for you, man. It's just like they always take work to set up. So let me show you guys a great and terrible failing of myself as a woodworker, and that is this tabletop. So a little bit of the story of this tabletop is I was pretty sure I pulled. So this is a panel glued up of 3 boards. And I was pretty sure I pulled all 3 boards from the same board. So all my pieces should have been of the same thickness. Well, I was mistaken. Not only was I a little bit mistaken, I was also a lot of bit mistaken. And because 2 of the boards were the same size, 1 wasn't. And because of all that, it was very there were some really bad, like, there was a really bad ridge between 2 of the boards. But so in my attempt to fix, air quotes, that issue, I fired up my electric hand planer and I just basically went to town on it, which is these lines you see running this way. That is a result of those. I have also this line, some other lines, but some other lines as well. So essentially, I butchered the hell out of this tabletop. But I did learn from this experience, and what I learned is, so, I mean, you guys can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a lot of knots in this glue up. This panel, when I was doing some planing, I was thinking about using the electric hand planer for like the heavy stock removal, but then using a hand planer to smooth out what the electric planer did. And what I learned was the hand plane really does not like the knots, because with hand planes you really gotta like read the flow of the grain, and you gotta go with the flow of the grain, which like here the grain flows this way. Here, the grain kind of, probably, kind of flows this way. That one kind of flows that way. But with the knots, grain that's flowing this way, the knots basically create ripples in the current of the flow of the grain that cause eddies and cause it to turn and twist. And because of all that, Some of the grain was getting really chipped out, like really badly, using the hand planer. So the big lesson, ultimately the big lesson I pulled from this screw up on my part was don't use hand planes on knotty wood, because if you have a bunch of knots in your wood, because we got 1, 2, 3, that's one board. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a board. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a board. Like each board has 4 knots. Like, and this is 18 inches by 24 inches. So this isn't really necessarily like a whole lot of like area in terms of like stuff to like glue things to. Basically, what all this amounts to is there's just a lot of twisting of the grain. And I learned some deep lessons on that. But I did learn hand-powered hand planes really don't like alternating grain. Electric hand planes, though, they don't care. They'll just power through whatever's and just keep on going. So, which, hey, good for that, I guess. Okay, so I did want to talk about this a little bit before we move on to the next point, because we get to start playing glue-uppities, because I gotta figure out which one of you guys are going where's, guys, because see, those have holes that don't line up. So I need to figure out whose holes line up. Okay, so there's 2 of these with 2 holes, and I want the one with 3 holes, so that's these 2. So that's these 2 guys. So I got some dowels here. Each dowel, one dowel will go between these 2, and then up there. Now, so, woo! Hey, dust mask. Dust mask, off to the side. Okay, so, one big thing with this project, and funny enough, in the plans he mentions this, is make sure you have a somewhat tight, but not like super tight. You should not have to hammer in your dowel. Now, this poplar dowel material I have has been pretty good. Insert question mark. But pretty good, I think, is our answer here. So we are not worried about the thickness of the dowel. If we were, the solution is to grab yourself a piece of sandpaper and then just hold the sandpaper in your hand, rub the dowel through, and then you'll thin the dowel up. And yeah, you won't have too much of an issue. So this is one of my... I haven't done a whole lot of like gluing dowels. So there's a little bit of a... I fully expected it to be a little bit of a learning curve, and I'm also now getting like copious amounts of wood glue all over my table saw top, so good job, me. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is definitely where I want to stick this dowel. There we go. Okay, great. We're also getting a nice, little ring of squeeze out, which is great. A little bit of that glue, and then I'm gonna wipe it, get it a little bit off my hand and into my joint. It's a joint, but it's not what you think of when you think of a joint usually. But we'll do. Get some more glue on there. Actually, wait a second. I'm stupid. I'm an ultra stupid. And this is the Ultra Suit. Because I should get both dowels in on one side before I glue everything else up. I need to get dowels in on one piece, and then I can put the other piece on. Oh, good evening, Dad's Old Shop. And Dusty Santos, hello, I made it for the assembly. You've made it for the assembly. You got to skip the stationary belt sander. Because the stationary belt sander makes so much noise. It makes a lot of sawdust. Like, funny enough, the first time I actually used a dust mask on stream was using that stationary belt sander because it just kicked up so much sawdust. We'll start with gel. And we'll use our fingers to spread it. Nice little even coat. Wait a second, where's this going? Ah, yes. The end. And we'll do turning. There we go. Have a nice little collar of glue. That's good. Collar of glue is good. Oh wait, yeah, because you're my magic next piece. So we'll use this to brace this up. There. Da 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 da. Blah blah blah. And I guess this is the reason why so many people like to recommend Tight Bond number 3 is because I know a lot of people like it because it has a long working time. And I was gonna try and get my dowel, get this piece on there, and I was like, wait a second, I got two whole, I gotta get 2 dowels in this. I should probably do one side first and then bring the other side in, and that's probably the smart way to do it, but thankfully I'm from Kentucky, so I don't have to bring a lot of smarts to the game table. Really, all I gotta bring to the game table is a willingness to work. So, this is my correct orientation. So I've got it started back there behind my head. Go to the other side. And bring this in. And then I'm just going to slowly bring it in. And now, since this glue is still tacking up, make sure. Okay. So, I want this to be 18 inches. So I went a touch short. And then I measured it. And now that side, this side towards me is like 18 inches perfect. And then that side is 18 inches perfect, so. Yay! I can't believe I did it. So, that is... That is now one piece of the folding... What was this project called again? A folding tray table? I think TV tray when I think of this. So, that is part 1 glued up. And I'm going to just park it off to the side for now. And then I scroll through my build plans. So my build plans now call for, not you guys, but you and you. Specifically, we're going to be working in the quote-unquote Holy Land. And yes, I will make dumb puns as far as the day is long. So, I got myself a couple of 1.5 inch 3/4 dowels, so just gonna go ahead, make sure like before, make sure everything fits, because when I cut these out at the table saw, got a little bit of like a tear out. Like, it's really minor. It's exceedingly minor, but I do wish to make sure that tear out's not going to affect how well this comes together. So, oh wow, yeah, that dowel's just the dowel's just free floating, which I guess is fine. Okay, so for this part of the process, I want. So essentially what we're going to want to do here is, come here you. This is what we want. So we're going to have our dowels in the middle of our legs. They're going to be facing inward. And then the dowels at the, actually, Then the dowels at the end of the legs, they will be facing down here. Well, closer to the center of the camera, closer to where I'm at. Most importantly, closer to where my beer is. Also, I forgot to tell Kiwi that I was drinking Ohio beer. So, let's go ahead and get these bad boys glued up. There we go. First, I'm gonna use my thumb to check for flush. And then I want to give the dowel a good little spin. So, pretty flush a bit. And then when you spin it, you also help more evenly distribute the glue. Or at least that's what I do when I'm putting together PVC vent pipe for like furnaces. Because yes, PVC glue is a thing. So, got ourselves a nice little coating. In there. We'll get it flush, and I got a touch of glue on that. Sloppy, 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 sloppy. There we go. But that's the great thing about sloppy situations is you got paper towels. Granted, when you play with glue, the paper towel may not wish to leave your hand. Be forewarned. So, ooh, that's the first piece. We'll bring this piece up. So we're going to want to do this piece as is laid out. And this is actually one of the advantages of essentially laying out your pieces. Especially if you have pieces that are going to do opposites. Like what this is doing. Because give that 10. Perfect. So because I essentially want the top two facing together and then these two facing up opposite. This is just where laying things out beforehand kind of helps you out. Yep. The glue traveled around our dowel. Spread it out with the good old fingers. Get it flush. And then you see we got a little bit of a... I like having that collar of glue, because it basically... It's kind of like squeeze out, but... Usually I associate squeeze out with, like, throwing clamps on it. Getting that collar of glue is like... Okay, cool. Everything is, like, coming together as it should. And now I gotta wait for that... Gotta wait for the glue on my fingers to tack up, so that way I can... Before I can actually, like, take it off, so... But, that essentially gets us the legs done. And I think for these guys, we'll come way over here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Squeeze out's a little bit more aggressive than I thought. So I'm gonna clean that up with a paper towel. Yep. You're good. How's the other side of you? Not gonna worry about it. You guys can hang out over here for now. So those guys will hang out over there. Paper towel coon. Cleans up the workstation. So I get to now. Oh. So now these go on. Or it's recommending that I put. So these are going to go on those pieces. And then it actually wants me to. Ah, okay. Ooh, boy, this is going to get exciting. So... So the assembly process is... These are going to get put on those. We're going to basically get the leg assembly together, and then it gets mounted to the tabletop. The issue I have with that order of operations is the glue for those dowels is still very much setting up right now, so I don't want to, because those two dowels are going to go in here on these guys, but they don't get glued there. So I want the glue on that side of the world to tack up enough before I fully commit to gluing everything together. So now is the time for me to figure out how to kill time, other than peeling glue off my thumbs. Granted, I will say this about wood glue. It peels a lot nicer than PVC glue. PVC glue is nasty. Because, Like wood glue, when it tacks up enough, you can pull it off in like strips. PVC glue is not like that. It is not like that at all. So, since we got a little bit of time, I think we'll get this guy out. We'll play with this guy for... Not the glue! Don't worry, Zerzon, I'm not eating it today. Also, I'm talking about wood glue. Wood glue is reasonably fine. PVC glue is... PVC glue's a little bit worse, because with PVC glue, you have primer and glue in order to make your PVC joints. Yeah, at work, we call the primer wound finder, because if... I don't think I have sheet metal cuts on my hand. I don't know. I have a bit of a boo-boo here and a bit of a boo-boo there. But if you've recently played with sheet metal on the job, and then you start playing with the primer for PVC, if you get primer on a flesh wound, you feel it. You really, really, really feel it. And also, hello and welcome, Zerzon. I gotta grab my... No, it's not. Right below. There we are. Oh. Huff enough primer, go to space. The problem is with primer for PVC purposes is you don't go to space. You just you get grounded. You get grounded with pain. Way too much sawdust here. But that's also just firing up the belt sander. The belt sander makes a cornucopious amount of sawdust. Okay, so. Here's the panel that I abused the living hell out of. Yesterday? Or was it the day before yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Actually, wait a second. Damn it, I have social media for a reason. The day before yesterday. This is why we have social media, to keep track of what we did yesterday. So, this panel, I abused the living hell out of it with an electric hand planer. That's why there's like these like tack marks. And I was initially feeling very bad about what I did. And then I remembered, this is going to be a top for essentially what amounts to a homemade TV tray that's going to sit in front of a campfire. So, yeah, this thing is going to get embers on it. It's going to get burned. It's going to get food spilt on it. This is going to get abused. I should not have a great amount of emotional investment in it. So I proceed to take whatever emotional investment I had in this project and throw it in the trash can. Other than having the I threw everything into the trash can with one exception. And that was, I want the project done. I want the project done, and I want a functioning project at the end of the day. Past all that, I don't care. Which is really how this goes sometimes. So, I have this tabletop. Work table is a work table. That's prime work table. Exactly. That's the thing, because that was the thing. I was like looking at this and I was like, man, this looks terrible. Which that was like what I saw earlier was a lot worse than what you're seeing here on camera right now. But I was just like, man, this looks like not just bad, but like really bad. And then I was just like, Sugi, you're gonna stick this thing next to fire. Social media equals modern day keeping a journal. Yeah, exactly. Like that. I think that is like one of the more like positive mindsets you can have with like social media, because a lot of social media ends up being like comparing yourself to other people, but social media can also be a means of like, hey, what did I do yesterday? And keeping track of that. Having a workbench that I drill saw into and freed my mind from perfectionism for work pieces. Yeah. Oh gosh, I actually love the fact that I abused the hell out of this workstation I have here, even though I spent like $400 on it from Lowe's. Shucks, putting the carpenter's vase on it involved cutting the metal framing with a hacksaw. There was nothing fun about that process, I'll tell you that. Because the metal is thick enough on that to make cutting it with a hacksaw not fun. So, essentially but, just because this is, hell yeah, make it yours. But, just because this is a tabletop that, essentially, I don't care about. Worktops can always be replaced. I know, right? Like, this damn like the damn top on this thing is made out of bamboo. I think I can level. Ooh, wait a second. What if I leveled that up with some white oak? Oh, damn it. That's a project idea. Oh no, I haven't. Actually, wait. That's also more content, but I shouldn't be getting depressed. Well, I should allow myself to have negative emotions over the idea of the next project. But what is in front of me, and what is the thing I need to keep away from my ADHD right now? Well, actually, ADOS is just because this is a tabletop that I'm not super emotionally invested in, doesn't mean I can't give it just a touch bit more of charm. So, I have my one and only Japanese hand plane. I do need to drive that blade in it a little bit more, but because right now it's not going to cut anything. But so essentially what I use this for is a block plane. And for today, actually, wait, can I show it? Ooh. It doesn't show up like super bad. I do have there's a slight crack on the cheek of this guy. So I don't like putting a lot of pressure on this, so I don't want to do like full runs of it, but I do use this as essentially a mini block plane. And I have need. I have a great and terrible need for a hammer. When did it get cracked? Before I owned it. Before I owned it. Okay, I don't have blade yet. Getting close. See, I need to bring that corner down. You bring that corner down a touch. Okay, that should be reasonably somewhat set. Can always be bow tied across the crack if you need it stabilized. Honestly, I'm just gonna, like, I just use this as a block plane because that's how that's also how I just like to envision using this. Also, funny enough, this Japanese hand plane was somehow amongst my grandfather's collection of tools when he passed away. And I basically bought it at my grandpa's estate sale. So it's also I essentially got it from like my grandpa in a way, so I'm not super well, I don't want to put it through too much abuse, essentially. That's just plain cool. Zerzon, we have feelings about puns here, and those feelings are very positive, by the way. Okay, so I did add a clamp to this rail as like a stop block, but it seems a little bit too rampy, a little bit too loose. That's kind of my issue right now. Is I gotta figure out how I wish to brace this, because what I want to do is I want to put a chamfer all along the perimeter of this workpiece, and right now the question is how do I want to go about that? How do I wish to do that? And that is the downside of doing so much work at the table saw station, because the table saw station, I do like how I did the plywood on this, and that gives, like, these open spots gives me lots of room to set clamps. But clamping to the table saw itself is kind of inconvenient. Even like that. I damn you. Ah! You're so close! Darn it. And that's the thing, these things... sometimes they bite and sometimes they don't. They're very temperamental. But you know what? Hey. There we are. We'll just go for it on the end. Now, funny enough, that is a clamp purchased from Harbor Freight. The brand is Pittsburgh. What you see here is also a Pittsburgh clamp. And let me get this one off. Wait, the Promised Land? Oh, Harbor Freight. So, here is Harbor Freight clamp. Here is same clamp, but much different build quality. This is the better clamp. Like, far and above beyond, like, it is such a better clamp. Well, the build quality is just higher. Like, there's really nothing wrong with Harbor Freight. It's just Harbor Freight does very much encapsulate the phrase, you get what you pay for. So, one of the issues I have with this setup is this area where my clamps are set is lower than where the table is. So there is, you can kind of see there, I'm a little bit tilted right now. My tabletop's a little bit tilted. Technically, this actually works out in my advantage as long as this is reasonably stable. So, come in here with this. And boy, oh boy, that cedar just wants to chip. Woo! Okay. So if the cedar's chipping, like badly, we get our handy dandy hammer. And just 1 or 2 taps to the back of the plane. And what that does is it backs the blade out. So you take a thinner cut. Which, now I'm not taking anything of a cut. A little late now, but tip for doing the edges, work from the corner to the middle, then the other corner to the middle, makes it so you don't have corner blowout for the oh gosh. I like how I... Okay. Man. Huh. I wonder if that's not the right tool. Granted, I also think it's partly cedar. Because, man, cedar just chips like terrible. Let's see here. There we go. Lol, get a Western plate. Shush. Shush, 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 shush. I have sanding block. The other solution to the problem. Not everything can be solved with Western technology. Just half of the world's problems can be solved with Western technology. But yeah. At least de-roughing. Ooh. My really chipped edge. Yep. Sanding block works too. Are tough to do chamfers with because they're so light they bounce a bit. Ah. But hey, you know what? That cleaned up one edge. And fun fact about how I did this. I can do 2 edges. But I do like that. I do like your idea, Dad. I mean, I do have this technology. Also starting really shallow from the face and cutting more steeply each swipe so you're not cutting long wood. Wait. Starting real shallow from the face. Oh, okay. So you're talking being ever so slightly tilted, doing a thin pass like that, and then slowly raising your pitch. We need some beer sugi. Great idea. Actually, wait a second. Yep, and then tipping it further and further. Great. So, it's the season for Oktoberfest. And I have Bell's Oktoberfest beer. Earlier beer was Third Eye's Oktoberfest. Hooray, beer. Yes, the beer. Yes, beer. The thing that saves every project. Cheers, everyone. Don't worry, Mr. Spock. I came in stock today. So let's take Dad's old shop suggestion. We'll do very slight tilt, and we'll try to be a little bit more aggressive with each cut. Oh, okay. So I almost am disturbed by how smooth that is. Granted, I also think my plane blade is not adjusted to take a deep cut. Let's take a deep cut. Low, that edge is easier from that first one when you were doing it. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Ingrained is always hard. Oh, well. Okay, yeah. So, yes, this side of the world is ingrained. Ingrained is ingrained, but yeah, that's actually a really nice chamfer, though. But we did get a little bit of... Oh. Webcam did not like me moving the stand. Oh. Okay, we're back. Yay. Okay, so. We're just gonna keep doing things that make it angry. That's just what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep doing things that make it angry. Oh, I've now made it very angry. Yay, the GoPro is angry. But you know what? I have beer, so that's good. Woohoo! Oh no! Oh no! Camera network error. Really, I thought that. Because I remember the last time I messed with this on stream, and I thought the magic formula was unplug it, turn it off, and then restart everything. And then that worked. It's a silly piece of technology, but... So, we do have a little bit of chipping out just here in this corner, but I think that's just because of how... Because we can see our wood grain is running parallel to our cut, and then it takes a 90-degree turn, and it's just like... So, technically speaking, to do this cut, it would have been better for me to start on this side of the world, come towards this side, and then I wouldn't get as much of a chipping there, but hey, you know what? For some chipping, we take our good old friend Mr. Sanding Block. And we'll just rub it to make it nice and smooth. Other end of the world's pretty good, so with all that, grab. Okay, well, I tried. I tried. Oh, okay. So it's actually, it is a very temperamental thing. And essentially, this is what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to make my cuts happen by only clamping this up 2 times, and that's what older people call taking shortcuts, youngster. And that's how you get into problems. But you know what? I'm okay with a couple of problems, because if I don't have a couple of problems, how can I expect to have a decently interesting stream? I gotta at least generate a few problems for myself. So it's clamped down. Really nice and sturdy. Grab Westinghouse Coon. And now we get to do the actual end grain. Still smoother than the Japanese plane. So a little bit chonky, but whatevers. Whatevers. Cool. So that's that edge. One more here. And we'll be done with chamfering. So, pretty smooth for the most part. Except for this part right here, where my fingers are. But that's just because we have one knot followed up by a second knot, and that causes the wood grain to do a reversey. And it's not ideal when wood grain does a reversey. So, we'll just get our sanding block, smooth that out. And with that, we've got ourselves a nice smooth chamfer all the way around our tabletop. Which was literally done to kill time while we let glue dry. But it was a feature I did want to do for this project. Bryce had an accident Saturday afternoon. Oh no. Neighbor's dog crippled. What? Her left leg got paralyzed. She's eating and drinking, hops around. It's still early though. Oh no. Not bright eyes. Hopefully she's able to make a full recovery. Okay. Time for things to get awkward. So. That goes there. That goes there. That will go on there. Ooh, wait a second. I need to pay attention to these. How these holes go. Aha! Nope, her leg is permanently... No! That's sad. So, these are the holes I need to be facing down. Whereas these are the holes that need to be facing up where the tabletop's going to go. Because this piece of wood is going to get mounted to that tabletop. Boy, oh boy, being a chicken's a rough life. So, notice we got some pegs. That's where this bad boy comes into play. So that should be that, and it should be that. It's farm life. Just wish the neighbor would keep his dog away. Yeah, you gotta keep your dog locked up, man. So now this is all. So essentially, this is how the legs are gonna go. This is also essentially how the legs. This is also how the legs are gonna be looking once everything's done. But I need to mount this side to the tabletop. So the nature of my table saw stand is very much a disadvantage right now. So, okay, in that direction. So that's the top, and that's what the bottom looks like. So essentially, So these get turned up. Should put up security cameras to catch the dog in the act. Oh, big Spock security now. There we go. Bring that over. That is roughly how this is going to come together now. I need to make sure I make things even Stevens. Okay, so for here, I want 1.5 gap. For now, I don't even have an inch. Honestly, I think 1.25 inch. That's there. Honestly, I'm going to bump that down to 1.25 inch. Okay, so that's 1.25 inch. 5/8. Reasonables. Great. Time for Makita. The best battery tool brand. Notice I said battery. I didn't say best tool brand, I just said best battery. So with that there, we're gonna do So we already have holes in this piece. And what I'm going to do is just kind of pre-drill them a little bit with the Makita. And that's just going to kind of help give a little bit more of a grip. So I'm going to be going in here with pocket hole screws. Yep. Oh, wait, can you guys... So you see my little bit of a hole here? I dip my screw head in, head first, and the screw falls in. And that's what I want. That is what I want. Now... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Do I actually have the right size fastener for... The right size chuck for this? I do! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Great, 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 great. So, we'll hold that. Put that in there. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna assume that's good. It's weird, it didn't do the chuck chuck sound. But... Oh! I wonder, did I don't know if I drilled these out enough. Let's see. Or maybe I drilled them out too much? Oh. I probably shouldn't have pre-drilled them. Okay. So the game plan for this is I need to fetch longer screws. Actually, I also have that for an option. Because... What are you? Because you're 1.25 inches. What I really should have had was like 1.5 inches. So... We're gonna sub those guys out. And I've got 1 5/8 inches here. So... We're gonna eventually realign all this, all that good stuff, and we're gonna try doing the 1 5/8 inches. Because the issue is with the 1.25 inches, the 1.25 inches weren't biting deep enough into the wood. So let's get our tape measure. 1 1/4 inch. All the way down the line. There we go. So this is our 1 Ooh, okay, okay. Better sound, better sound. These are that bit more. And that's starting to feel very solid. Okay, so I have some good turning into it. But, oh yeah, that is solid. Okay, cool beans. Oh, wait, tape measure. We want tape measure. I don't need my bits, because we're gonna actually forgo pre-drilling holes to ideally save ourselves a little bit of trouble there, because pre-drilling the holes with the 1/4 was making things a bit too loose. Now, there are some issues with, because I am building this project out of cedar. Cedar tends to split really bad, so I tend to want to pre-drill. I'll just get guinea hens, good luck. Dog catching them makes lots of noise to bug the neighbors. That's the spirit, Mr. Spock. Okay. Oh. I tried to be careful. I tried being careful. Ah! But it looks like we came back, though. So... There we go. Oh man, this is unnecessarily exciting. So 1.25 1.25. This definitely needs to come back to be even. Somewhat okay. Touch forward to be better. Then we'll do quarter. Okay. So that is all that. Let's cinch this bad boy down. Let's commit. Woo! Okay. So that is all that. Oh, wait. Oh. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Okay, that's my issue. So, I do have a slight issue, and that is this has to come out a bit. Because otherwise this project's not going to work. So, you there. Hey you, come over here. So, do I like that. That's a lot better. I'm actually curious about basic. Touch under, touch under, touch under. Oh. Damn. So we got way too much friction here. I gotta figure that out how to undo that friction. Oh. Okay. Whew. Okay, that is an issue. So essentially, can't believe I'm actually pulling this off. So I have some. See how I got a little bit of sharp edging here? That's causing it to not work right. So, actually, where's it? I have the solution! Let's pull you guys back. And the solution is just sanding block. Because what the sanding blocks is going to do is it's going to unroof those edges. The thing is I'm okay if it's stiff, but the stiffness now is not okay. So we'll give this a nice good sanding. Granted, now that I'm really pulling on these dowels, definitely feels like that glue's really tacked up nicely. And that was something I was slightly concerned about with earlier, and how things were going on, like the stationary belt sander, was I was a touch worried about how smooth these edges needed to be in order to pivot properly. So I'm kind of glad we kind of got that figured out. Okay. Oh, there we go. So let's bring these in. So essentially what this needs to do, need to do that. But we do want So this does need to come out. And let's go ahead and play with it from there. Okay. So, can I do an inch and an eighth? We'll do a inch. Ooh. Hey now. So we'll try that out. Oh dear. Because one of my issues is I have that's weird. Huh. Okay. Because I still have oh, okay. So, let's see here. There. So I didn't lose it that time. So I think this is yeah. I'm having a lot of trouble. Oh yeah. Oh. Those are some really sad noises. I've got way too much material here and here on these guys. So they definitely needed to be sanded down a little bit more, but unfortunately, I am at my limit with my bladder. So I'm gonna throw the BRB screen on, and I'll be back after a few. Okay, I am back, and I have a much more powerful piece of technology. So the sanding block I was using earlier is an unknown grit. So, where we are at in this build is I have this point and this point on these two main dowels here. And they are, like, it works going up, but things don't work so well when they're going down. Let's see. Can I get you to do that? In there. Okay. Oh, that holds that there. That's wonderful. So essentially what I need to do for these ends is I need to round them over and sand them. So grab myself a small little piece of good old 60 grit sandpaper. And this is what needs to happen. Man, that's wiggling a lot. Tape measure! Until the tape measure wiggles out. Actually, I should get a bigger piece of sandpaper. I have a whole roll of it. Ah. So rather than a oneser's piece, we got a twofer's piece. So that's looking a little bit smoother there. We'll go to the other side. And my goal is to thin this down to the point where I can actually like raise and lower this properly. Now, if it ends up being a little bit stiff, that's fine. But at the same time, I also don't want to... I don't know. I'm balancing two things. I'm balancing the stiffness of it against ease of use. And right now, it's way too hard to use. But that's also the good thing about the 60 grit sandpaper is it's reasonably aggressive. It takes a lot of material off fairly quickly. So if we return this to, so that's our, so this is our folding table in folded up state. Go over here. Wait a second. Okay. Oh. I lost you. No. And this is... Ugh. That's part of the not good is when I want this to pivot from this way to the other side of the world. There it goes. Because essentially that's what the table's going to be like. Nothing some sandpaper won't fix. Maybe a pocket knife. Honestly, I'm thinking the way to go is sandpaper. Because the thing I like about sandpaper is it removes material slowly. Wait, what's holding the extendo arm in place? Wait, extendo arm? Wait, like when the table's like fully assembled? Like when it's set up, what does the bar rest against? Ah! This piece of wood that I haven't attached to the frame because I want to make sure I get rest of the thing built before I attach this. So this is basically where we are in the project is I need to fine tune the ends on this, attach this, and then I fold it up in front of the table saw station, and the project's done. Miss that part of the build. Yeah. So, like, there's really not a lot left. Not a lot left, but it's like I consider this part of the project fine-tuning because this is actually a weird it's kind of a weird woodworking project. And the weird woodworking aspect of this is wood that moves as part of the project. Usually a lot of the woodworking projects, your parts aren't supposed to move. In this project, my parts are supposed to move. So since they're supposed to move, I'm basically taking the process of slowly fine-tuning things. Which technically the reason why I have to slowly fine-tune things is because of slight imperfections in all my measurements. Because, hi guys, I'm a woodworker, not a machinist. When you're building things that move, your tolerances get much, much more aggressive. Whereas in like a woodworking project like this, I can just sandpaper to my final result. Also, wooden bearings are sticky at the best of times. But yeah. So, that's much more I have less material here. And for the other side, that's kind of the game plan. It is sandpaper both these hubs down to the point where they clear, because you can actually, funny enough, you can actually kind of see the rubbing here with that little spot. So hopefully, actually, it won't you can always wax them, but not oil them or get them soaked. Yes, that too. All excellent options. Granted, the main things I would actually be worried about actually waxing are the main center pivots. It's just with these 2 points, they have to go. So essentially, this has to collapse, which is the folding tray table in its folded state. And then this has to go from here. This dowel has to go from here to over there when I fold it out state. So I'm not too worried about waxing this. It's just sanding it to the point where it's not doing things I don't want it to do. It's an outdoor table. I would assume you put a finish on it, but even just the lacquer or shellac. Well, funny enough, I don't have lacquer or shellac. I do have polyurethane. Granted, this isn't something that's going to live outside. It will go outside when I'm using it, but it will live inside. Granted, finishes are a thing I need to embrace at some point in time. Always good pain in the butt. I have a can of liqueur with a detached spray handle for outdoor projects. Jeez, you know. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Oh man, it sounds like you know what's up, Dad's old shop. Okay, so if I remove that, see, it goes. That is it. This is the project in base state. Now, what I want to be able to do is come over here, grab this. That's being awfully stiff. Wait a second. Oh, yeah, that's why. That's why. Because this actually has to come up. And then this can pivot over. So, what has now occurred, other than my project rattling apart, but is it's close at this point. That is actually the thing. It is. So, it actually feels like. Let me get a feel for this here. Okay, so yeah, they both. As you can see, we do have some rubbing. See, those are the rubbing marks of me testing. Can get a nail or two and bend them over to keep that beam. Oh, yeah. This, honestly, what I was thinking about doing for the thing I was thinking about doing for these two ends was pre-drilling a hole and then adding a screw that's big, slightly bigger than the hole, and then having that expand the dowel outward. Either that or just adding a big butt washer with a screw. But that's the thing, is like these guys here are a touch too proud because of my imperfect measurements, but that's easily fixed because, like, if I have too much material, I can remove material. I have all sorts of options for removing material. It's adding small amounts of material that are hard in woodworking. That's an idea. The washer idea is good too. If the dowel gets too wide, it'll bind in the hole. See, that's the fun thing with a, I like about the screw idea, is if I need to adjust, because, so right now, what I have going here and here is they're too loose. So I add screw that kind of expands it. Well, if it gets too tight, you know what? If it gets too tight, that's what beeswax is for. If it gets too tight for beeswax, I remove screw and then insert a smaller screw. Like, there's all sorts of ways to take. Oh, that's the fun thing about woodworking. There are so many different ways to sand this cat. Why does beeswax look so tasty, like fancy butter? Funny enough, I went to a farmer's market near me, and there was like this old elderly couple selling honey and stuff, and I saw the bars of beeswax, and so this bar of beeswax, I bought 2. I could get this for $1, which I was like, you know what? I've seen enough woodworkers talk about beeswax. I'm more than happy to spend $2 to get 2 of those bars for like different yellow sexual. Oh, come on, Dental Shop. Just go to your farmers markets. Oh. That's 8 to 10 out of 8 to 10? Oh, dude, you sounds like you need to be hitting up your farmers markets. You really need to be hitting up your farmers markets. Now, one thing I am trying to do is not get Burt's Bees scalp wax. Ah, I got other wax available to me, Mr. Spock. Because right now, this is pretty tight in the fold-up position. And I think, well, actually no, there's actually some flex to it. So I feel like this point would be like a good spot for wax for lubrication. So let's pop it up. Oh. Bring it over. Ah, come on. Because that's full. See, I have a touch rubbing right there, right there in the center there. And I also have a touch rubbing there. Okay. Put some beeswax on it. It's creaking really bad. I think it's funny you guys can hear it. Funny enough, the parts that are creaking really bad are this point and this point. So once I finish addressing the rubbing issues on this, I will put beeswax on it. Well, on these points. But for now, we still have really bad rubbing. But you know what? This sandpaper doesn't fuel itself. This sandpaper runs on West 6 Oktoberfest beer. Like everything else in my life, it just runs on beer. Being a woodworker is have projects, will drink beer. Fascinating. But yeah, like, and what I might also do eventually is I'll add some beeswax to this spot. Now, I can also come in here and do a little bit of light rubbing to kind of smooth that. Because the bottom side of this table is rough sun lumber. Oh, it's 420 puff puff pass. So, I do think actually that will actually help a little bit. But that's also what happens when you're in a project where you just want to like fine-tune everything to death. Is you end up sanding everything. Actually, I want a little bit more room. I bet none of you've seen hammers used like this before. As bracing. Okay. Let's take our beeswax. And we're gonna apply it to this rubbing spot. So, at this point, we have attempted to fine-tune our fit on these guys. We have done a lot of things to try to make things that work in our advantage. So, to get this to rise up, we pull it up, bring it up. And here is our sticker point. So that's actually not too bad. At that point. That is actually not too bad. That is actually not bad. It's not great, mind you, but... Oh. Ooh. I'm actually getting a little bit of rubbing on that edge. Let's see. So we got a little bit of rubbing there, a little bit of rubbing there. Okay. So, I think what I'll do for today, because we've been going for over 2 hours. I'll do one more session of the sandpaper on these, but I'll also hit this corner because I think I'm getting quite a bit of friction out of that corner. And then once we get to that point, we should be pretty dang close to... Because right now, it was that most recent run, well, test, was pretty dang close. It's just, it needs a touch more. Needs a touch more TLC. Then once we get a little bit more of the TLC done, then I think it'll be reasonable. It'll be reasonable. Because I never aim for perfect. My eyes are on... Would a palm sander be quicker? Yeah. It depends. Like a belt... Because the thing is... And what I'm trying to do here... is I'm trying to remove material, but I also don't want to be overly aggressive, and that's an issue with, like... some of the power sanders, is they can be a touch aggressive. Because essentially what I'm trying to do now is I'm just removing a little bit of material, testing. And then trying again. And in my opinion, that's the great way. That's the way to do it. Is you want to remove a little bit of material. But not too much. Because you can see, like, this sandpaper is making a nice little bit of sawdust. Like, I'm not being that shy with material because this is 60 grit. Because just that bit of rubbing is enough to produce quite a fair amount of sawdust. So, we'll pull our handy dandy hammer out. Where are you? There you are. So what I want to do get you there. So, this is where we want to take our bar of beeswax. And just get some wax on our pivot points. And that will essentially be our lubrication for these. So, it's going to be those. So, go ahead and do one side first. Next side. So, there it is. So this is folding table in base state. This is folding table folded up. So to unfold, well, to unfold, should be able to pick this up. Oh no, wait. What kind of wood is the table? The table is cedar. Everything's cedar except for the dowels. The dowels are poplar. So, to unfold, we grab this, pull it up. So far, so good. Now we hit the critical spot. Oh, you know what? That's not too bad. And then that's the fold out. So to keep this from falling over, I need to add a bracer. And this is the last, basically this is the last step in today's project. So I want the bracer to be 3/4 of an inch, something. So 6 inches. We have 24. So, oh wait, this is the easy way. So the easy way is our stop block is 6. We'll put a slate mark at 3, which is halfway. Our table is 14 inches across. And then I line up my 3-inch mark with 12 inches, and then that centers it. Now, set it for 3/4 across. Now grab my drill. That's one screw. Actually, tighten it up. Better. Better. Woohoo! So, to fold this up, not like that. So it looks like I'm really am gonna have to oh. Oh, not like that sound. But that is what it will look like when folded up. I want to take a look at that. Nope, no splitting. So, let's zoom out. Oh no. Whoop. Okay. Ugh. Ugh. So. Oh. I actually see an issue here. I have some oh. Something not right. Oh no, it's a number of things. What? Okay, that's weird. Because normally, okay, so you can't see my hands, but I do have divots on either side of these holes, actually. We're gonna try something. We're gonna see what this does for us. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, gosh. I got too aggressive. I am trying to play with way too many things. I played with way too many things. That's what I did. Because I lost VTube Studio, of all things. Oh, VTube Studio. Yay, everything's back. Okay, so. Whoa! Hi, pop-up. Goodbye, pop-up. So. I have rubbing divots here. And on both sides. And that is a thing that is affecting this. But the biggest thing is that's been affecting this is that these let's do this number. Is these dowels are touch small for these two holes in this piece. And that's kind of one of the reasons why it falls apart on me. One of the conversations I was having with Dad's old shop was how to get a better fit on that stuff. And I'm thinking the route to go, or at least my first try, is going to be adding a screw. So essentially what I'm going to do is, for illustrative purposes only, because we can see we have we can see we have quite a bit of play here. Well, what I'm thinking about doing is adding a screw to the center of that dowel and expanding that dowel out and getting a tighter fit is an option. But I also need to address the fact that these legs are also rubbing on this tabletop. So I'm going to take some sandpaper and do some rubbing here. And that's going to help, that's going to remove material. Then the tabletop a little bit. And make it a little bit easier for it to pivot there. So, we did remove a little bit of material there. Not only removed material, we also made it smoother, which reduces friction. So, let's give this a good old college try once more. Oh, one up. Ooh, up. Camera. Hold one. Camera! I want you to hold one of these guys. I didn't even ask you to hold one. Darn, 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 darn. Okay. So, that's base. This is the folding table folded up. Then we extend it. Oh wait. I keep thinking wrong terms. Wrong order of operations, because you want to raise it up. And then once you raise it up, which actually, it's moving a lot better, actually. Ooh. Good. To the yonders. Be to the yonders. And then I'm just going to take this. That is how loose those dowels are. Oh, gosh. Okay, no. Darn it. I wanted to get this project to the point of somewhat reasonably done. So, give me a second here. I am going to be aggressively adding a screw to these dowels. The issue, me, oh, Yeah. Damn it. Problem is I need a different screw. Those screws are too big. Too much screw. Oh, those are inch. Those are inch 3/4. I don't need it. That's the right amount of screw. We'll take that. And hopefully, that'll be enough to tighten this all together. Wowzers. These dowels are loose. They're loose. Okay. I'm trying hard. And I'm failing miserably. My dowels are just far... My dowels are far too loose for the hole. I didn't even pre-drill those holes. Oh man. Chucks. I need to find washers. One, but I want two. I need two. Yeah, just have the one that's big, but okay. So I've got. Oh. Ha! I keep losing camera. Because I'm determined. I am deeply, exceedingly determined to have this project be somewhat presentable. And I'm going to make it happen. I will make this happen. GoPro be damned. Okay, there we go. So, this is the solution I was talking about earlier with Dad's old chop, was adding a large washer. So, I'm going to come in here. Undo that screw. And then I'm going to add that screw to this washer. But a little okay, so okay. We'll test. It pivots. Okay. It doesn't want to stay 100% there or there. Okay. Round number, I don't care. Oh god. There it is. Oh gosh. No, no. Okay, okay. So, good news is the table is reasonably done. That table is definitely too low to be used for like for a stand-up campfire cooking stream. It's probably because I would prefer something at waist height, and this is at least a few inches below that. So I will need to raise this up. I'll have to figure out a way to raise it. But it is a table and it does somewhat work. I think what I will ultimately do is I will get washers. Oh. Stop that. Because I do want to stop that from happening, but... Ooh, build a box with storage space. Wait, build a box with storage space? What kind of box with storage space? Are we talking like toolbox with storage space? Oh my goodness gracious. But that is a dumb project. So, well, done as far as I'm concerned for stream. I do need to add the washers as I mentioned before, but that's easy. That can be done in no time whatsoever. I'm gonna add washers. I probably should put some manner of finish to put the table on so it doesn't fall off. Well, I need the washers to make sure the legs don't come out on me. And then I will need to... I should probably put a finish on it, and then I need to figure out the height issue, because I have to lean over a little bit to have my hands here, which... Technically speaking, if I'm actually working on it, I'm gonna have a cutting board, and that cutting board adds like 3/8 of an inch, which is something, but not exactly anything spectacular either. So it's a mostly done project. It is a mostly done project. It needs probably a half hour of after stream work to get it to 100%, but it's most of the way there. I'm just really dang glad that I'm actually pretty genuinely surprised that today took this long. Dig a hole so you're closer to the table. Oh gosh. Okay, you know what, Mr. Spock, that is an idea. That is an idea. And you know what? That is the type of idea that I would not mind entertaining if it wasn't for the fact that I would have to basically be digging a hole in concrete. Because I would be digging a hole in my driveway. So. But, actually. There! That way, you guys now have a bit of an idea of what this will look like when I'm actually using it. That's no good. Yeah, I can't dig a hole in concrete. Well, actually, I can't. Well, here's the thing. I can, but that doesn't mean I necessarily should. So, well, gosh, are there any nearby? No, there's not, because what I think I'll probably do is take some like 4x4 blocks, make some like little like divots in them, and then those will be like risers for the legs, which I think that's probably the best route to go, because I think using 4x4 blocks would be pretty good, because one, they would be stable, and that would probably get me like 3 more inches. Because 3 more inches... Oh yeah, 3 more inches would definitely put it in like... It's a workable height for me. You could build a bunker as a project. Oh god. I have a pretty... Mr. Spock. I have a fairly healthy project budget. I don't have that healthy of a project budget. Also, I would have to... And another issue with bunkers is where to stick them. In my house. Homestead. Literally the best place to stick a bunker in my homestead would be on the west side of the house, and I have a really kick-butt black maple tree on that side of the property, and I don't want to have anything happen to that maple tree. I love that tree. I'm not going to hurt that tree for a bunker project, even though I have watched Colin Fuse build his underground tunnel, and it would be so much fun to build a project like that. It really, truly would, but logistically, it's a little bit too far from me. And this is coming from the guy who does hand cams like this. Like, I've pruned trees on stream. I've done some... I've seen that. Lots of money. Yes, it is lots of money. And I have a reasonably healthy project budget, but I don't have, like, big YouTuber type of project budget, which... Honestly, I don't need that much project budget to be happy or to have projects to do, because, like, we got this project. Sunday, Campfire cooking comes back, and I'm going to be making tropical curry from I Like His Fireworks shows. Colin Fuse does make some, like, really good content. Granted, I've mostly been following him for his tunnel builds, just because it's just, like, it's interesting. It's interesting, it's neat, and gosh, and also he knows how to weld. I don't know how to weld. Yet. I don't know how to weld yet, but someday I will learn how to weld, and we'll go from there. But my shop is honestly kind of full to the brim. As you can see, I have all sorts of, like, buckets of, like, sawdust. I have piles of sawdust. You see that fun little pile of sawdust? That came from this project. I have all that sawdust trying to expand and invade my shop, and yeah, I really don't see how I would... I might be able to cram a welder in here, but I'm not at that point in my maker journey to think about that thing. But even though I might want that thing, there's so much of doing, like, building things, making things, where it's just like, ooh, shiny new tool that lets me do, like, this, and this, and it's like, I kind of want that, but where do I stick it? So I think this has been reasonably long-winded enough. I was post-stream wrap-up because hey, folding table. It's done. The folding tray table is essentially done. I do need to add some washers to give to stop those legs from doing things that I don't want them to do. And then I need to throw a finish on it, and it's pretty much done. Plus, also I need to make some razor blocks. Well, razor. Razor as in bring it up, not razor as in a type of Motorola smartphone. Actually, wait, was the Motorola words. The Motorola Razr wasn't a smartphone, but it was a phone. It was a very cool phone from the early days of my life. So, wowee. Okay, so there's no one there. Okay, so it does not look like anyone is live, so this is probably going to be it for today. Next stream will be Sunday morning. I'll be doing campfire cooking, be making tropical curry from the official Stardew Valley cookbook. And this has been Sugi Yamagawa. Thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in today. May you have all a great rest of your day, night, evening. Just add leg extenders that fold out onto it. That is overcomplicating a build, Mr. Spock. Admirable idea, but would make things awkward. Honestly, I'd rather just have blocks of wood with little nooks that I can set the legs into, and that be that. But with all that, this has been Sugi Yamagawa. See you around in the next one. Bye, everyone. And get plenty of rest. Don't be like me.